Let me ask you a question. Which is the better beach? Kata's beach or Kamala's beach? Not an easy question to answer, but on today's video we're going to try and do exactly that. Good morning and welcome to my studio, albeit at a very early stage. Lots of changes for this space coming soon. Today is Friday the 17th of May. Welcome back to the channel if you're new here. My name's Tony. A little bit about the channel. I've been running a YouTube channel for a little over 6 years, featuring content from Thailand. I live on the island of Phuket, so a lot of content about the island, but not solely about Phuket. I do feature other parts of Thailand, so if you like that sort of content, you have come to the right place. So on today's video, we are going to be trying to answer a question that you ask me all the time, which is the better beach, Kata's beach or Kamala's beach? And this is not an easy question to answer. Why? Because they are both excellent beaches, but I'm going to try and help you decide which is best for you. So let's get into the video. So we're going to jump straight in at Kata and the main beach down here. Now Kata does have a second beach called Kata, but we're not going to be looking at that beach today. We're going to focus on the main area. And for those of you who don't know where Kata is positioned on the island of Phuket, this is in the more southern part of Phuket, as opposed to Kamala, which is positioned in a more northerly direction, but more of that later. As you can see, fantastic beach here down at Kata, and at the time of this filming you can see very busy because we're right in the middle of high season when I filmed. The beach itself, the sand is lovely. It's great for families because the coastline drops into the sea very gradually, so it's a good place for young children. You don't have to worry about them getting out of their depths too quickly. So let's just take a moment to walk along the sand and soak up a little bit of the atmosphere. Now, one thing I have noticed at this high season is that the beach down here at Kata has been swamped by beach chair vendors. As you can see, some of them are almost in the sea itself. I understand that there is a need for the parasols and the beach chairs, but I think there has to be some sort of limit, because otherwise the beach is simply taken over by these, and unfortunately I do feel there are a few too many this year on the actual main beach, and it would have been nice to have had more areas of exposed sands. But of course, if you must have or you need beach chairs and parasols, then as you can see, Kata's beach has them in abundance. I think it's time to hop across to the beach over in Kamala. Now, for those of you who don't know this area, Kamala is situated just north of Patong, Patong being the main area here on the island of Phuket. So if you decide to stay over here, you will have easy access into Patong. Also Surin, which is just north of Kamala's beach, also again very easy access to that area. The beach here in Kamala is actually longer than Kata's beach, but it doesn't have the volume of parasols as we saw over in Kata. A lot more open spaces to enjoy, but the beach here, sand quality very high, very family friendly, so families with younger children, once again it's ideal because it drops away into the coastline very, very gradually, making it ideal for the little ones. Let's now just take a moment to enjoy this area of the beach. Now at this point I'm sure you're going to agree that there really isn't much between Kata's beach and Kamala's beach, unless of course one of your deciding factors is either the length of the beach or the amount of parasols available. So let's now jump back over to Kata's beach and start to have a look at the actual beach facilities. Maybe that will be a deciding factor between the two beaches. And straight away after entering onto the beach via one of the main entrances, I've come across a massage service, the all important way to relax down here at the beach and a great way of taking in the scenery. But of course while you're having a massage you're going to need a drink, and there are a number of vendors right on Kata's beach offering this service, so you're not going to be too far away from that all important cold beer, cocktail, soft drink, whatever your fancy. Now maybe you want to take a trip off the beach and require the services of a long tail boat operator, again available right on the beach down here at Kata. And if that doesn't satisfy your appetite, what about a spot of diving? Not interested in diving? Well, okay, what about a touch of surfing? Again, plenty of vendors right on the beach to offer you these services. So let's now turn our attention to food, because of course if you're coming to the beach it stands a chance that sometime during the day you're going to want to have something to eat. So let's see how many restaurants Kata's beach has to offer. As you can see, there are a number of restaurants right adjacent to the beach, so you don't have to go that far from Kata's beach to find food and drink. On top of all the restaurants, you have, of course, the street vendors selling street food. So lots and lots of choices when it comes to food and drink over here at Kata. I think it's only fair now that we should jump back over to Kamala and see what beach facilities that area offers. Once again, straight away we have massage facilities directly on the beach. Whilst I was wandering around the beach area, I did come across plenty of boat services, whether you're intending to visit other islands or just take a long tail boat ride around the island of Phuket, visiting various different spots. I don't think you're going to have a problem finding that service here. A reasonable choice for those of you looking to hire a surfboard or indeed take some lessons. Again, all available on Kamala's beach. So let's move on to the all-important question about food and drink. Well, this is where I feel Kamala starts to pull ahead of Kata, because as you will see, there are a staggering amount of restaurants offering these facilities. So no matter what you're looking for, what nationality of food that you require, you are probably going to find it down here at the beach in Kamala, because there is just so much choice. There aren't many vendors on the actual beach selling just drinks. That's one thing that Kata does have that Kamala, or at least I didn't notice on the day of filming, had. But restaurants, well, it's just staggering. There's even a small indoor market where you're going to be able to find accessories, beachwear, beach items, etc. But as you can see, the restaurants are just so many to choose from, all different nationalities of food as well. So if this is something that you feel is very important to your holiday, then for me it would have to be Kamala, because there are just endless choices here and they're all right on the beach. Now don't get me wrong, Kata does have plenty of restaurants in the main area, but not as many on the actual beachfront itself. Yes. Let's now talk about actual activities that you can do on the two beaches. Over in Kamala, as you can see in front of me, horse riding. So if this is something that you would love to do or you love doing, it's available over in Kamala. I haven't seen it on Kata's beach. Jet skis, both beaches have jet ski facilities, banana boat facilities, but I do feel that Kata's beach has a better selection when it comes to water sports. Now moving on to beach safety, both beaches of course have lifeguards stationed on them, but I would still urge everyone to keep an eye on the beach flags. They're there for your safety. If you're coming during low season, Phuket can suffer quite badly on the west coast with undercurrents because of storms, and of course both of these beaches are situated on the west coast, so please take note of the beach flags. We're now going to look at the last section of the video, which is probably the most important for yourselves to decide between the two beaches, and that is, of course, available accommodation. Now we're going to specifically look at beachside accommodation. In front of me over here in Kata's beach is the Beyond Kata resort. Please do check out my video. I have covered this resort if you are interested in it. We also have the boathouse accommodation. Again, first class accommodation, a little bit expensive, but if that's what you're looking for and you want to treat yourself, then the boathouse is a good option. There are a number of smaller accommodations towards the southern end of Kata's beach, but of course the main section of Kata's beach is dominated by the very well-known resort called Club Med. Now for me, technically it isn't really beachside accommodation because there is a road that separates the Club Med resort from Kata's beach, but if that's not a concern and you're not too worried about crossing a road to access the beach, then Club Med may be a great option for you and your family. Outside of the ones that I've already mentioned, choices are limited because of the Club Med resort. There are plenty of accommodations on offer in Kata, don't get me wrong on that, there are loads, but unfortunately actually on the beach itself in Kata there are limited choices. So let's now jump over to Kamala and see what the position is over there. So kicking off the accommodation over here in Kamala, we have the very well known Sun Prime, which I believe is adults only, so if you don't want children running around, that is going to be a great resort to stay at. But don't worry, if you have a family, they also have the Sun Wing, which I believe caters for families and everybody else. On top of that, we have the very well-known Novotel 4-star hotel, which is positioned at the northern end of Kamala's beach. Again, a great accommodation. I have covered that on previous videos, so if you're interested in staying there, do go and check that video out. Then we have numerous smaller hotels, so obviously this is going to appeal to people that are on maybe a tighter budget, because some of the larger resorts can be more expensive. So you've got a few smaller hotels and guest houses down towards the southern end of Kamala's beach, so it gives a little bit more choice when it comes to beachside accommodation. Of course, a lot of these hotels and guest houses do have their own restaurants, as we saw earlier in the video, so a great mixture really of accommodation, and I do feel that Kamala has the edge on the accommodation side and also on the dining side out of the two beaches. Let's now jump back to the studio and wrap up the video. So, have I managed to answer the question, which is the better beach out of Kata's beach and Kamala's beach? Both excellent beaches, and whichever one you pick, I'm sure you're going to have a fantastic time. But let me know down in the comments section if I've managed to answer the question and which is the preferred beach of your choice and the reasons why. Hopefully you found the video helpful and informative, and if so, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up because it will help this video going forward and also help the channel. Talking about the channel, if this is the sort of content you enjoy and like, then please do consider subscribing to my channel. One last thing to mention, I did film the main body of the video in January, and yes, I know we are now in May. It's taken me a while to put this video together. I've had a few things going on outside of YouTube. Let me know if you like this style, because slightly different from what I normally do. So drop me some comments, drop me some feedback. I always like to hear from my subscribers. And I guess that just leaves me to say thank you for watching. I'll catch you soon.